So Gordon's up again. He comes every week and asks questions. Hey guys, thanks again for your Hump Day help. It is greatly appreciated. You're welcome, Gordon. Thank you for always attending and asking good questions. So he says, I know you mentioned previously that in ranking a local business site, you no longer need to create a separate page for each keyword with the location. You can now create just a single page with all the keywords and the location, and Google will rank that one page for all the keywords. But I was wondering if the single page method now ranks more effective than the separate page method, or if the latter still works just as well, but recommend using the single page method only because it is easier and much less time consuming. No, what I have found is that Google prefers the longer form content with more of the same, as long as it's a related topical theme, right? That it prefers the longer form content. It's not that you can't still get the results with the single page method, you can. The problem with a single page, single keyword, a single page optimized for a single keyword method, the problem with that is it's easy to over optimize that page, that particular page, and then it won't rank well. And in fact, it can actually pull the quality score down, the ranking score of your entire site. So it can end up affecting the entire domain because it's over optimized. It's like an over optimization penalty, essentially. Not like a manual penalty that you're going to get notified in Search Console for, but it will be like an algorithmic penalty. And that can happen very easily when you're when you're trying to optimize a page for one single keyword. That's part of the reason why I prefer using a single page that has, as long as it's still in the same keyword theme. In other words, it would almost be like supporting keywords to, you can still divide your content up into headings or sections with separate headings, where that's how you can kind of like compartmentalize the page itself to make it more logical and everything else. However, you're not going to be over optimized for any one particular keyword that way, if that makes sense. So you still can do the single page method, but you have to be careful because you can over optimize a page much easier now than you could, 4 years ago. 4 years ago, in fact, it was probably 5 or 6 years ago now, that was the preferred method, was to optimize each page for a single keyword. And even in a silo structure, you would have multiple pages or posts, depending on how you had your site, the structure of your silo built on your site. But either pages or posts would be optimized for individual pages, and they would link to each other, like either through a daisy chain or a mono silo, or whatever the case may be. They were still individual pages. You would figure out what all your supporting keywords were in a silo, and you would optimize a new page or post for each one of those supporting keywords. And again, I don't recommend doing that anymore. You still can do it, but you got to be careful because you can easily over optimize a page that way, which can cause it can cause an algorithmic penalty to the particular page, but that can also in turn affect the entire domain. So I would be cautious in doing that. I prefer using the single page method. I feel like Google has for years now has preferred that method because it's more like an authority, or I don't know if you want to call it cornerstone content, but it becomes more of an authoritative page that way. And there's a bunch of, it reinforces the overall theme of that entire silo or topic, if you will, on that one page, if that makes sense.
It's funny because I answered almost this exact same question in RYS Academy Reloaded this morning, where Google absolutely recommends the long form content on the same page because it's actually the same theme and they do belong on the same page, except that the page can get so long that the person will have to scroll through, right? It becomes a long scroll. So to avoid that, there are methods that you can use like skip navigation links so that the person can jump to the relevant portion of the page, whatever it is that they're looking for. Not only that, if you get like a specific keyword that you're targeting with that long form content that gets stuck, then that becomes a target for a blog post. And since you're using skip navigation, you can skip from the blog post to the relevant part of that long form.
Yeah.
But by doing that, you not only push that key, you're not only pushing at that keyword, but at the entire content, because that blog post will support that section and the rest of that long form page.
Exactly. And you can use table of contents plugins to help you develop out that longer form content. and create those jump links or skip navigation links, that kind of stuff. So Marco is absolutely right.